This evening, I am going to talk to you about a power for good in the universe, greater than you are, greater than I am, greater than all of us. A power for good that we can use in everyday life, for everything. When the greatest teacher who ever lived said, "It is done unto you as you believe," what do you suppose he was talking about? This mastermind was talking about a spiritual power in the universe, something so close to us that it is indeed nearer than our hands and feet, closer to us than our very neck vein, as the old Talmud said. And so this power is not something we have to go in search after. It is something that is right here, close, nearer than our very breath. How then would we use a power that is so intimate? Certainly we should have to use it in an intimate way, and we would certainly have to believe that the power exists, it's for us, not against us. It is willing and not reluctant. We should actually have to believe that it really is done unto us as we believe. Then we would have to believe. What is belief, anyway? These are the things I want to discuss with you tonight, how it is that we could use this power for good, greater than we are, wonderful, the thing the whole world wants more than anything else in the world, the thing that you and I have for the taking, for the asking, for the using, power that responds to us according to our conviction in it, power that is used in our own mind, in our own thinking, right where we are. How close and how intimate such a power is, and how wonderful it is just to believe that we're going to learn how to use it. First of all, the power that is bigger than you are and greater than I am is, of course, a spiritual power. Just what do we mean by a spiritual power? We mean something that is invisible, of course. We don't see it. We don't touch it. We don't taste it. We don't handle it. We don't weigh it. We don't measure it. But we do feel it, just as you feel beauty, just as you feel love, just as you feel anything in life. This power, greater than we are, is a power for good. It responds to us if we have faith and confidence in it. Now, throughout all the ages, people, of course, have prayed, and their prayers have been answered. They have prayed with faith. It doesn't make any particular difference what kind of a religion they have had. That power has responded to everyone in the way he has used it. And that is why Jesus said, very simply, very directly, "It is done unto you as you believe."
There's a power that lives within every human that walks this earth. It's a language of human emotion. And the power of human emotion that we typically discount in our culture, not so in other cultures, but in our culture, the power of that emotion to literally change the conditions that we're talking about, the conditions of the healing within our bodies. And what the experiments are showing is that this power of emotion has the ability to influence not only our bodies biologically, but beyond our bodies into the physical world on the quantum level. It is a powerful language that other cultures apparently know very well. And in the West, when science came in, science discounted the effects of things that cannot be seen and measured directly 400 years ago. And now they're coming back full circle with the language of quantum science, reincorporating these forces, but the feeling and the emotion and the power of human emotion is among those forces that cannot be seen. Laboratory experiments are documenting the fact, and it is a fact now, that human emotion changes the DNA inside of our bodies and the way we function in this world, and that those effects extend beyond our bodies into the physical matter of the people in the world around us when we learn that language. And it leads us to the understanding that science is simply a language that describes our relationship to ourselves, to one another, to our world, to the universe beyond. It's a language that describes, in very technical terms, how things work, the mechanics, the nuts and bolts, and how we function within that mechanism that we call life in the universe. The best scientists will freely admit that our science is incomplete. There are a lot of things science simply cannot explain right now. But what if we take the best of the science that we do know and marry that with the languages that have always been here, the languages of spirituality, and those indigenous understandings that tell us we're part of this world and we're part of one another, we're part of a greater creation. We're not separate from these things. What if we marry those two ways of knowing into a greater wisdom? Where will that lead us? The line between science and spirituality is getting very fuzzy, and especially in the language of quantum physics. And if we can flesh out those missing pieces, and it helps us to become better people and create a better world, why wouldn't we want to do that? We already know what it's like to have a world where we all feel separate and we feel like there's not enough to go around. It's a world based in competition. We know where that world has led so far. Let's try something different. What would happen if we embrace one another in a spirit of cooperation like all of the rest of the natural world does, humankind? This is the only species that believes that violent competition is the optimum way to get ahead. And it's based on a false interpretation of Darwin's work back in the mid-1800s. But all their species in nature, without fail, show that cooperation among the species will always produce the strongest of the species, the greatest number of offspring, the greatest ability to meet the challenges of whatever it is. And the bottom line, it says that you and I and our listeners, we have a latent power. It's dormant. It's sleeping within us. The ability to create a feeling and the quality of an emotion inside of our bodies that literally heals the stuff our bodies are made of.